Hello, how are you all? Welcome to today's session. Now, before beginning with today's session, let us have a quick quiz. I have an interesting question for you. So, do you know which is the most playful animal in the world? Yes, dolphins. Dolphins are considered as the most playful animals in the world. So, have you ever seen a dolphin? Well, if you haven't, then today is the opportunity because I'm going to take you to the world of dolphins. So, excited to go into the world of dolphins along with me? So, let us stay tuned till the end because I'm going to take you to the world of dolphins in this video. So, let us study the poem. The poem is Watching for Dolphins. As I have promised to take you to the world of dolphins, so I'm going to take you to that world through this poem. It's by David Constantine. So, Watching for Dolphins, when you look at the title of the poem, what you see? Two words which are very important. Let us concentrate on the two words. One is watching and the other one is dolphins. So, as promised earlier, dolphins, I know you are excited because you know that I have promised you to take you to the world of dolphins, but you have to concentrate on the meaning of the title. First is the physical layer, right? Watching for dolphins, that is the physical meaning of the title is that the poet is describing a physical journey which is undertaken by the travelers who are on board, and they are going to Pyrrhus, which is a port on Greece, in order to watch for the dolphins, right? So they are equally excited. They have an equal excitement, just like you and me, to go into the world of dolphins, to dive into the world of dolphins, right? And the second word is dolphins. So dolphins, you know, the animal, the most playful animals, the wonderful animals. So on the physical layer, the title is suggesting this. So have you ever peeled an onion in your home? So have you seen an onion, right? When you peel the layers one by one, when the peel come out, what do you see? You see that there are different layers, right? Similarly, this poem has also two layers. One is the physical layer and the other is the symbolic layer. I've told you about the physical layer, and the symbolic layer will be unfolded as you go deeper into the poem. I'm telling you what is the symbolical layer. It's very interesting. Kindly stay till the end. The symbolical layer is that the dolphins become the symbol of divine being, and we human being, we are on a spiritual quest for that divinity, to attain that divinity. It is also a poem about human hopes and ambitions. We are all hoping and we are having an ambition. So what is our ambition? We know that we are aspiring for something materialistic, but there is also something spiritual, right? So dolphins on a physical layer, that is something materialistic, but it is also having a spiritual undertone, right? Because it is connected with something divine. So it becomes a symbol of divinity, and the journey therefore becomes a journey, a spiritual quest which is undertaken by all men. So let us read the poem. I'm sure you would enjoy reading the poem along with me. First, let us study about the poem. So what is there about the poem? 6-stanza poem. So it is a 6-stanza poem. The poem is divided into 6 stanzas, and it is divided into a sestate. Sestate means 6 lines, right? There is no single pattern of rhyme scheme. There is no uniform pattern of rhyme scheme. For example, the first 2 stanzas has a rhyme scheme of ABA and CBD. But as you go further deeper into the poem, you will see that the rhyme scheme is changing. So therefore, there is no uniform pattern of rhyme scheme. As I have already explained you that on a literal level, the poem is describing a physical journey of the passengers and their hopes to spot the dolphins on the way. So they are also equally excited like you and me, and they are excited to spot the dolphins as they are traveling on the ship, right? But allegorically, as I told you, that just like peeling an onion, the poem, you have to peel layers by layers. So there are 2 layers, right? So allegorically, the poem also explores a spiritual quest which is undertaken by all men, right? Now, let me read out the poem. It is a very interesting poem and I know you will enjoy reading it along with me. So please read the poem along with me. Don't go anywhere. In the summer months, on every crossing to Pyrrhus, one noticed that certain passengers soon rose from seats in the packed saloon and with serious looks and no acknowledgement of a common purpose, passed forward through the small doors into the bows to watch for dolphins. One saw them loose. Now this is a continuation here. This line, this stanza, this is continued in the second stanza. So there is a run-on line here. So in the summer months, so when is the journey undertaken by the poet? The summer months, right? On every crossing to Pyrrhus, where are they going? They are going to Pyrrhus. That's a port. Where is it? In Greece. Remember, right? One noticed that certain passengers soon rose from seats in the packed saloon. So the passengers, they soon rose up from their seats. They were excited to see the dolphins just as we are, right? So they rose up from their seats in their excitement and with serious looks. So what kind of looks were they having? They were having serious looks and no acknowledgement of a common purpose. But what was their common purpose? Their common purpose, like you and what are our common purpose right now? To go to the world of dolphins through this poem, right? So their common purpose was also to watch the dolphins. But they were unaware of this common purpose. So no acknowledgement of the common purpose, right? Passed forward through the small doors into the bows to watch the dolphins. So they passed forward through the small door into the bows in order to see the dolphins. So they were excited to see the dolphins. One saw them loose, then there is a continuation, a run-on line we will study in the next stanza. So first let us analyze this part of this stanza, the first stanza, right? The readers are introduced to a ship journey undertaken by a poet on a regular basis. So the poet undertakes this journey on a regular basis along with the other passengers. Right? Where are they traveling? They are traveling to Pyrrhus, which is a port in the Attica region of Greece. The journey is commonly undertaken, I have already told you, it's undertaken in the summer months. Okay. Every passenger, irrespective of their class, this is very important over here. They have different class, they are of different class, right? But they are bonded together by the common goal of watching the dolphins. So there were different, the passengers were of different class. The passengers who were traveling on board, they were of a different class. But what was binding them? Common goal. What was that common goal? Of watching the dolphins. So they were binded by the common goal of watching the dolphins. However, ironically, they were unaware of the common objective that bound them together. So, though they had this common goal of watching the dolphins, but they were not aware of that goal. Now, this is important. The dolphins represent the divine being that binds us with the common spiritual bond. So we all, human beings, are also bound with a common spiritual bond. So the dolphins are representations of that divine being, and the journey therefore becomes a spiritual journey. As I already told you that it is not only a physical journey but also a spiritual journey which is undertaken by all men. Okay. Next. Now let us go to the next stanza. Every other wish, even the lovers turned their desires on the sea, and a fat man hung with equipment to photograph the occasion stared like a saint through sad bifocals. Others, hopeless themselves, looked to the children, for they would see dolphins if anyone would. So as I have already told you that there is a run-on line. So this was continued from the previous stanza. So what is the poet saying over here? That, let us go to the explanation directly. Everyone's desire turned to the sea to see the dolphins, just like we are excited to see the dolphins, to go into the dolphins. So our desire is also to see the dolphins. Similarly, every passenger's desire also turned to the sea in order to see the dolphins. The lovers replaced their desires from each other and turned their focus in the sea. So as you can see here, that even the lovers turned their desires on the sea. So the lovers who were there on board, they did not turn their desire towards each other, but they replaced their desires to the dolphins, right? A fat man hung with equipment to photograph the occasion. So there was a fat man on the ship also, and he was carrying his camera. So when you travel, you carry your camera, your phones with you in order to click photographs, in order to click selfies. How many selfies do you all click? I click many selfies. I am very fond of clicking selfies. So here the fat man also wanted to click a photograph of the rare occasion. What was the rare occasion? Of seeing the dolphins, right? Steered like a saint. This is very important. Why like a saint? It is giving it a mystic overtone. As I have already told you, that the poem is not only about a physical journey but also a spiritual journey. So the mystic saint is suggesting something mystic, and this is also giving it a religious overtone. Through sad bifocals, there is a use of transferred epithet over here. Who is sad? The bifocals are not sad. The bifocals cannot be sad. So sad is the epithet which has been transferred to bifocals from the man who was carrying the bifocal. So the man is sad, right? Why is he sad? What happens when you are traveling and when you are having some kind of desire, some kind of expectation to see something, but you cannot see that? What happens to you? You become disappointed, right? Similarly, the man, he was having this desire to see the dolphins. He was having this all kind of preparations, the camera and all. He went there with every kind of preparation in order to see the dolphins. But the dolphins were not there, right? Till now, it is not here, right? So, therefore, he was disappointed. So, therefore, sad bifocals. Others, hopeless themselves, looked to the children, for they would see dolphins if anyone would. Now, this is very important, right? Those who had given away the hope of being able to catch the glimpse of the dolphins placed their hopes on their children, who they believed had a greater possibility of seeing the dolphins. Now, why are they thinking that we would not see the dolphins, but our children would? Why are they placing their hope on their children? Because you see, when you were a kid, what happened? If somebody had told you about a fairy, a story about a fairy, what would have happened? You had believed it. You believed in fairies, right? You believed in Santa Claus, you believed in fairy. Well, when I was a kid, I believed that Santa Claus used to gift me. I used to put up stockings, and in the morning I used to find that some gifts were there in the stockings. So I thought that, yes, there is a Santa Claus, and he used to come in his reindeer and he used to give me those gifts. I believed it because I was told those kinds of story, and I was gullible as a child. So similarly, the poet is here trying to say that the children are more naturally receptive to what? To accepting the wondrous and the divine. So they accept whatever is wondrous, whatever is magical, whatever is divine, and whatever is miraculous. They are the natural receptors of all this. But when you grow up, you gradually move away from this. So when you narrate a fairy tale to a child, he would obviously believe it, just as I believed in Santa Claus. But the adults would question its existence, right? As an adult, I stopped believing in the Santa Claus, right? So as an adult, I started questioning, and I started moving away from the divinity. So the children are more near to God than the adults. The dolphins, therefore, are the representation of the divinity and has more possibility of being seen by the children than the adults. So therefore, the passengers thought that if they would not be able to see the dolphins, obviously the children would, because they are close to divinity. So you can understand the layers, the two layers that the poem is talking about. One is the physical layer and the other is the spiritual layer. So next, after we have understood this, let us go into the next part,